Well, to news here at home, where the Quebec government is pausing two major pathways to permanent residency as part of a plan to overhaul its immigration strategy. Premier François Legault says high immigration levels are straining social and health services, and the province will use this period to clear out the backlog of applications in the system. CBC's Marina von Stackelberg is on this for us, and she joins us now. So, Marina, tell us more about Quebec's plan.
Yeah, so Quebec plans to stop sending out these Quebec selection certificates, and they are essentially a key kind of part of the process if you want to become a permanent resident in that province. And it will be specifically for two streams, so for foreign students looking to become permanent residents and economic immigrants. So these are people who have come here to work. The Quebec government says this will be temporary, as you mentioned there, to deal with the backlog. And while they're doing that, they are going to come up with a new plan to deal with immigration in that province. Now, applications that are in the works will not be impacted, the Quebec government says, but this is kind of part of a larger conversation that is going on in Canada about immigration. Quebec, the Premier of Quebec, François Legault, has been quite outspoken on his concerns about the quantity of people that are coming into his province, just saying essentially that they can't handle the sheer amount, and he has been asking Ottawa to do more to deal with that.
Sorry, Marina, how is the federal government responding to this?
Yeah, so this is an ongoing battle between Ottawa and Quebec over immigration, and Mark Miller, Canada's immigration minister, says he's been asking Quebec for a plan to deal with its immigration issues. Quebec, as part of its kind of way of being within Canada, is responsible for about half of its immigration numbers. And so Mark Miller today in the House of Commons said he doesn't quite understand why Quebec is doing this. He said the plan of attack for Canada and for the Quebec government has been to reduce the number of temporary residents coming into the country. But these people are people who are already here that are seeking permanent residency. They're already here living in Quebec, living in Canada. And he said now that these applications are on hold, that's unfortunate for those people. He says it's hard to know why Quebec is doing this. And he called those people really the creme de la creme of people that, Quebec should want to be permanent residents there. Have a listen to more of what he had to say.
I welcome the pedagogical exercise that they say they're going to do next year, but it's still incomplete. We've been saying for months to Mr. Legault to give us a plan to reduce temporary residence that he's been clamoring for, and we haven't seen his share of it. The plan that we presented is measurable, whether you agree with it or not. We still haven't seen a single thing from him when it comes to temporary residence reductions.
Now, this comes exactly a week from when Immigration Minister Mark Miller stood up in that exact location and said that Canada was going to be reducing its immigration numbers. The number of permanent residents it would allow in the country, it had originally estimated for 500,000. It will now be dropped to below 400,000. And that's because Canada's population has really exploded. Last year, we saw more population growth than we have since the 1950s. The vast majority of that was from immigration. But many of those new Canadians were temporary residents who are here to work. And Canada, of course, has a severe labor shortage. And so this has been something that the federal government has tried to delicately balance, obviously needing immigration and being a country that welcomes immigration, but also trying to balance the population trends that are happening. And we do know that Canadians' opinions on immigration are changing. A recent Abacus poll found that half of Canadians now saw the immigration system negatively. So Mark Miller today, commenting on what Quebec is doing, he said that Francophones could come to the rest of the country. He said if they're not going to be welcome within Quebec, that he would be working to make sure that those people seeking permanent residency could do so elsewhere in Canada.
Okay. Marina, thank you so much. That's CBC's Marina von Stackelberg in Ottawa.